Welcome into another edition of Sports Junkies here at RacingSportsZone.com. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer from 105.7 FM, The Fan in Milwaukee, coast of the Wendy's Big Show, weekday afternoons from 2 until 6. Here, of course, Gery Woelfel here of the Racing Journal-Times. Aside a little bit about the Packer draft.
Time out. How many years have you known me?
Long time.
And what is my name?
Gery Woelfel.
And what did you say?
What did I say? I think
I
said No, I didn't. I said Gery Woelfel.
No, just let's go. Keep it rolling.
Really? First time I've ever
Do I look like him? Come on.
Well, Gery Woelfel.
I know I was pretty, but hey.
You are pretty, yeah. Gery Woelfel is my co-host, former Badger and Packer running back on the Wendy's Big Show. I thought I said Gery Woelfel, maybe not.
That's right. You're forgiven.
All right, let's talk about the Packers, where Gery Woelfel did play. Ted Thompson needed an inside linebacker in this draft, got it in the 4th round. Ted Thompson needed cornerbacks to replace Tramon Williams, Devon House, and possibly Jared Bush, and he got 2 in the first 2 rounds of the draft. Ted Thompson needed a special teams guy probably to give Randall Cobb a break at some point, got one in Ty Montgomery from Stanford, the wide receiver, in the 3rd round. He needed a fullback at some point to replace John Kuhn. He got one later in the draft in Ripkowski. It seems like he filled the needs that he had. Now the just question is, did he fill them the right way?
No, I was just waiting for you to say, and it was a horrible draft.
I'll be honest, I
can't believe the morons that were giving him like C's and possibly even D's on this draft, where I thought in relationship to where he drafted late in the round, I thought he did fantastic. And you know how I've been critical of Thompson's drafts over the years.
Yeah, I can't say that I would give him a high grade. I mean, he filled the needs. And you don't question Ted in this state because otherwise you're just an idiot. Don't dare question the great Ted Thompson. But first of all, inside linebacker I thought was the biggest need. And he waited and waited and waited.
You wanted the linebacker
and where
the first pick.
I got hot was in that 3rd round. When he took Montgomery and Dawson was still there. I believe that's the kid saying the linebacker to CCU. He was sitting there, and you didn't take him. He plays with an edge. He's aggressive. Now, look, I don't know if the kid's got character flaws that kept Ted away from him or what his deal is. But in my opinion, you could get a special team returner later in the draft. All you're looking for is a quick, fast guy, really, to return punts. Montgomery was the best guy in the draft to do what they're asking him to do. Okay, so he got the best guy there. But and the Iowa linebacker that they got, this is my thing with him.
The Michigan linebacker.
The Michigan linebacker, yeah. This is the thing with him. Everybody on Twitter was like, oh, he looks like A.J. Hawk. Right, but if you got A.J. Hawk in the 4th round, you would have been thrilled.
Exactly.
Thrilled.
Exactly.
So if this guy comes in and starts for 10 years, it's a home run pick.
You know, I actually thought he looked better than A.J. Hawk. Honest to God. I saw some video on him, and the guy actually was able to take on an offensive lineman and stand his ground. I never saw A.J. Hawk do that.
I don't think he's the best at getting off of blocks.
No.
I really don't think he's as good as getting off blocks as you're giving him credit for.
I agree. And he's not fast.
He's not as fast as Hawk.
Right. That's why he went in the 4th round. There's a reason.
Well, what do they say?
Okay.
He's smart, A.J. Hawk. He's a Simon Shore, A.J. Hawk, right? He pursues well, A.J. Hawk. I mean, a lot of the traits that you give as positives for this kid is the same traits you gave for A.J. Hawk when he played for the Packers.
Okay. I am totally on board with you about the 3rd round pick. I thought that was the time to. I mean, we talked about this before the draft. I thought they were going to go cornerback, linebacker, and maybe another linebacker later in the draft. I talked to a friend of mine who's an NFL scout. He's been an NFL scout for a long time. And, you know, having been on Junkies, one of my biggest pet peeves the last couple of years is how the Packers haven't had a good return guy.
Right.
They have sucked. I mean, they have had.
Well, Cobb's their best guy, but
and you're playing him wide receiver. Right. You can't. But I mean, the guys that they have had in there were very pedestrian, run-of-the-mill type returners. Right. So I like the pick. So I asked my friend. I said, "What do you think of this guy?" He goes, "I love him." And I said, "What do you mean you love him?" He goes, "I think he's the best return guy I have seen come into the draft in maybe 8 or 9 years." Exact quote. He said, "This guy will be an instant return guy for the Packers."
Well, that's good because
it is, and they needed.
His hands were made of stone at wide receiver last year.
No, he did not give him high grades as a wide receiver, but he said if you want a guy that can make an impact on special teams,
and that's why they drafted him.
Absolutely, I thought it was outstanding. I mean, to me, there's such a fine line between Super Bowl teams and conference championship contenders, and a lot of times it's their return guy. He gives you that edge. If this guy is as good as my friend tells me, I thought it was a heck of a pick.
See, and again, you get to the point at the end of the 1st round, And you had that Stephon Anthony guy sitting there.
I know. I bet you were going nuts when you saw that.
Well, he was there. Gery Woelfel wanted him. I mean, everybody we talked to, everybody wanted this kid. So he's sitting there. Okay, you take him, and everybody's like, Rollins? Okay.
But you have
maybe Ted thought it was Demaryius Thomas he was drafting in the first round. That's what happened. Ted was
Ted, wake up.
Right, it's not the wide receiver. No,
we don't need another wide receiver yet.
Right, but I mean, seriously, I mean that is something where either you fill a need, or you take the best player on your board. Now, I'm assuming this Demaryius kid was the best player on the board, and that was the case. That's fine, okay. And in the second round, Rollins, was he the best player on your board? Fine.
Absolutely.
But what freaked everybody out was both of them, football wasn't the priority for either one of them. One was a baseball player, and the other one was a basketball player.
But they can play football.
But that is where I think Packer fans went crazy.
Again, everything's subjective, but according to the scout, I asked him, I said, what did you think of the Packers draft? And he said, they got to be ecstatic up in Green Bay. And this is a guy that works for a team that picked in the latter third round, okay? He told me before the draft, we were talking about DBs, he loves Collins. He thinks Collins could eventually be a Pro Bowl player.
Rollins, you mean?
Rollins. Yeah, did I say Collins? Rollins. And he is just really high on him. And he loved the other kid.
Demaryius?
That they took in the first round, Demaryius Thomas.
Not Demaryius Thomas. I hope Ted doesn't think that's who they took. That's
exactly. So anytime you want to do a show with Gery Woelfel again, just let me know.
Sure. This one worked out good. He's Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times. I'm Sparky Fifer of 105.7 FM, The Fan. So before we get out of here, what's your grade?
B+. Absolutely. I was thinking A- in regards to where they were picking, but B+ is good.
I think 5 years back, you look from now, and I think you're going to probably have 5 impact players in this draft.
From the Packers draft.
5.
That's exceptional.
I'll say 5.
If you get 3 or more, it's exceptional. So you're saying what then?
I'm saying a B. Yeah, I'll say a B.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I mean, 5 years from now, who knows? I could very well be wrong. But going away from it now, you figure they got the replacement of fullback. They got a starter at corner between one of those twos. You got a kick returner. I consider that a starter. You got a starting linebacker. And then Hundley, you might be able to turn that 5th round pick into a 2nd round pick in a trade in a couple of years.
You never know.
And that all could work out. Thanks so much for tuning in here at RacineSportsZone.com.